Hey everyone, welcome back to Open. Our next guest is a Bronx native filmmaker, Tally-winning and Emmy-nominated director who is proudly presenting his latest feature film, Playing Sam, at this year's New York Latino Film Festival. Playing Sam is a semi-autobiographical independent film that follows the story of Samantha, Sam, a non-Spanish speaking Latina actress from the Bronx who struggles to fit into Hollywood's narrow standards of beauty and ethnicity. The film explores themes of heritage, mental health, and sexuality with a frank and unapologetic depiction of an empowered Latina. And here now to share more, we welcome filmmaker, Tally-winning and Emmy-nominated director, and Playing Sam writer, executive producer, and director, Ramon Pesante. Hello.
That was a long title. I love that, though. Thank you.
Well, I think it's important that we advise our viewers of every aspect of your talents, right? I mean, you know, it shouldn't be one or the other.
No, of course not. No, I just, my wife doesn't call me all that, though. I'm going to ask her to. Like, when you address me,
Don't put me in the middle of that. No. I'm sorry. Let me apologize to her now.
Well, the Emmy-nominated director, please throw out the garbage now. Thank you so much.
That's how it is, but that's that keeps you humble,
no,
too.
It does.
It keeps you humble.
It's important.
But you've come a long way.
Yeah, I have. It's and I'm still, on this journey as a filmmaker and, establishing myself to a larger audience.
And, all right, so I just want to share with our audience a little bit of your background, because I know I read in your bio somewhere that you were in the foster system at some point of your life, and I found that really fascinating that you have made it your business to share that aspect of your background and to where you are now, which I didn't mention to our audience that you also serve as a creative director on The Sherry Show, right? So I know that's separate from Playing Sam, but I want people to get to know you a little bit and understand the dynamics between working in the commercial world and producing your own independent film.
Yeah, I think, well, my TV career started, I was a scrappy dude, and eventually I found my way to BET, and I think there's when I really found my voice as a director, and I started realizing that I had the tools and the access to develop skills that I could apply to my filmmaking, because that's really what I wanted to do, So I'm more leaning away from the marketing world and now working, pushing really hard to stay full-time in long-form filmmaking, and also television.
Right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no.
But in the director seat is the
yes,
goal.
Yeah,
that's the point, right?
The director seat.
Right. Yeah. Right. And so, but the road has been almost by choice, right? And so I also read that you spent a lot of times, at movie theaters alone, and perhaps that was your first teacher in just observing.
Well, again, when dealing with a traumatic childhood, you find an outlet.
Right.
And I think film was the outlet. So when I didn't want to, face some of the things that I shouldn't have had to face. I shouldn't have to face as a young person. I went to the only place where I felt like I could be alone and really just be, in a space where my imagination can run wild.
Right.
Which was at films, and eventually that's what. Yeah, that was what the spark was really to go. This is a lot better than reality.
Yeah.
You
And so then you decided to now create it yourself, right?
That's
so
right.
let's talk about Playing Sam, because I understand that's also inspired by your mom.
Yeah. So when I met Jenny Uriza, she's the lead actress and co-writer of the film, I saw a lot of my mother in her as well, and I saw, a lot of my fellow artists and actors in the Latino community that were still dealing with the same things my mother experienced in the 80s. My mother, an Afro-Latina in the 80s, what were the opportunities? They're very far and few in between.
It was a lot different then.
It was
than
very
it is now.
different, yes.
We're still struggling.
Of course, yes, but I still see that they are still experiencing, these, being kept in these small,
like a narrow category.
Yes, very
it's a narrow
category. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I felt like I think that was calling me.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then I think also for my first feature, I thought it was important to create something that reflected the first people that were going to see it, which was my community. You know what I mean? And I always say this, that, rappers, if they don't pop off in their hood, then no one else is gonna care.
Right.
So
it makes sense, right? Because if you're sharing our stories
exactly.
and we're not relating to it,
right.
Why is anybody else gonna care?
So right. So how are you ever gonna amplify, your films and your creation, your body of work? So I made sure that I'm like, okay, so I'm going to make sure that the people that are seen are the people that are seeing it first.
Right.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. I really like the again, I always go back to mindfulness, right? Because I think it's something that as a human race we need to exercise a lot more intentionally right now, right? As opposed to aiming for the money, right?
Well, yeah, that's right now filmmaking, there's a gold rush going on, right? And Hollywood wants horror movies. Hollywood wants what it wants. And then I noticed in the film festivals that I was in that these are all films and projects that everyone wants Hollywood to see and go, oh, buy our stuff, right? And I get it. That's why there's so many horror films.
Right.
And listen, I love horror too. I would love to do a great horror film, but it's like, I think for my first film, where I am the financier and I'm the one doing this, I probably should not go for the gold rush.
Right.
Because we're gonna, money is not our niche.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it has to be the authentic experience. So I had to walk the other way, run the other way, as make a film that Hollywood doesn't want from us.
Right. Well, it's really more a film that is going to make a difference because of how much it matters to you.
Yes.
Because that energy that you put into it, trust me, it's going to get picked up by the audience. And it already started to, right? Because, we've already had Jenny Rhina on, and that was before you even released the film. The film has already had its own screening, right? It's actually already been at a few festivals, right?
Yeah, we premiered it at the American Black Film Festival.
In Florida.
And that was like so surreal because there was only 8 narrative films. So, and this was the part that was really special to me, is that there's a movie called Cinnamon with Damian Wayans and Pam Grier. There's a movie Phelps High with Amari Hardrick. There's a movie called Murder City with Michael Coulter. Like, these are like big names with like $1 million budgets.
Right.
And then there's Playing Sam, one of 8 of those films. So it's just like that was like, I didn't win any awards, but it was like I felt like I already won because I'm in the room, I'm in the same conversation as films like Phelps High, Cinnamon, Murder City, and I'm like, this is really very overwhelming. And that's the award, being in the room.
Yeah, but you know what? That's a testament to the quality of your work.
Thank you.
Right?
Yeah. It is.
I mean, let's keep it real.
And I'm telling you, like, the film is a fraction of what they spent on these films. And that is like, for me, is like, if I'm able to achieve something like that with just something, out of my own pockets, what can I achieve on something on a larger scale?
Hello, if anybody's listening out there.
Yeah, so no, it was what I walked away of thinking. It's like, okay, I've found a way to master this, on a smaller scale. So, the future is pretty bright.
So, congratulations on your tally. Congratulations on your Emmy nomination, which also happens to be associated with the New York Latino Film Festival, right?
Yeah, Calixto Chinchilla, man. He had shown a couple of my short films, 2 of my short films in previous festivals, and him and I have always had this like, hey, we should work together on something soon. So that's actually my second Emmy nomination. The first one was for the Sherry Show, what I did on the Sherry Show, but I think to do this with New York Latino and with Calixto, it just felt like such a bigger because the Sherry Show, there's a lot of people involved in that, where it's like the New York Latino, it's like, oh no, you're Emmy nominated director, and there's a small group of Latino people that came together and made something for the community, this PSA for the community, and you know, it was different. It is eye catchy, and it was just, again, mastery on another level, where it's like we're making something that's speaking to the community, and it you know, it resonated. So I was more excited about the win with New York Latino, because they've been rolling with me since the beginning.
Since what? Since you was at MTV?
Since BET days, yes. Since when I was, and when I did my, you know, my short Grapes, which was like a 6-minute short about, and it was another thing reflected of my, you know, my history when I used to live with my grandmother, and she used to try to give me Spanish lessons when I was high.
Oh God!
And then, you know, and that resonated, because people were like, yeah, I think we've all been there, you know. So I think, you know, they saw some potential in the very beginning, and I'm very grateful to him and the organization for just like seeing, you know, and just giving me opportunities.
Yeah, and I'm, you know, we're very proud to present Calixto Chinchilla here as well every year. I've known him for very many years, and it's lovely to see all of the talent that he's fostered or, you know, has supported in their endeavors. And so, aside from that nomination, now you've also have the opportunity to present Playing Sam at the New York Latino Film Festival. So what does that mean to you? Because this is a feature.
Oh,
this is
listen,
your first feature.
Yeah, it's my first feature, and I think that New York Latino understood, well, the gravity is that this is a New York Latino film, and we need to give it, you know, the best, you know, give it its flowers. And they, you know, they programmed it Friday night, on a Friday night at 8 p.m. September 22nd. You know, and so you know, it's really like they're laying out the red carpet for us.
Which is why you're here, and I'm so glad you finally made it.
Oh man, thank you so much. I want to give you the shirt that I got. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, before.
Wepa!
There you go,
I got a
man.
Playing Sam shirt.
There you go. Right in time for the fall. There you go.
Yep, these are the fall colors.
colors.
Wepa! I got my Playing Sam tee. You guys, once again, Ramon Pesante, Playing Sam director, writer, and executive producer and director. Once again, Playing Sam is set to hit the silver screen Friday, September 22nd at 8 p.m. Eastern Time at Regal Union Square, which is located at 850 Broadway in Manhattan. For more information on Playing Sam, you can visit sam.com. Oh, I'm sorry, visit playingsam.com, forgive me. And for more on Ramon Pesante, you can check him out on Instagram at Ramon_Pesante. Stay tuned. There's more open when we return. Wepa.